think it's an open conversation based on also where you're actually booking. But I would want to know about those things is from booking as a guest, especially if you're talking about recommendations immediately. And if you can't respond immediately, you set up automated messages that can respond. And if you're not in a position to do that, you get a manager. Slow communication. I think slow communication is, it might not say 100% about what the property is about, but it really says a lot about the host. Okay, so it translates from online communication all the way to on-ground communication.
Okay. Should guests always call host before arrival?
No. I think you knew my answer on that one.
Yeah, I did. To save money. No,
I'm not sacrificing comfort to save money. But because I have saved money for that comfort.
Cook your own meal or eat out?
Eat out, oh my God.
Eat out? Options are not hearing this.
I know, John. John is wondering what's happening.
Okay, what are you saying?
What are you saying? But eat out.
Stay indoors or explore outside?
Explore. Why even discussing? Explore.
All right.
Yeah. Many guests experience a lot of problems when making their first bookings. Online attempts, a lot of challenges with guest communication, a lot of challenges in identifying the right location and the right place for them. This channel is about hosts, entrepreneurs, aspiring hosts, anyone who'd like to know what are some of the challenges our guests would potentially be facing when making these reservations or bookings, and how do they go about mitigating them. Welcome to Beyond the Booking, episode 5. This is a continuation of episode 4. If you're new here, subscribe, click on the notification bell, and if you've been here with us, like and share and join us on this conversation. I am joined by Eve. Yay, karibu sana. I think we can get right to it.
Yes.
Yeah. Hi. Just challenges, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to touch on the communication side. And I'll start with should guests message the host before booking?
Yes and no. It depends. If your listing is accurate,
okay,
and predictable, the description is clear, then you don't have to message the hosts. But if you need any clarification based on maybe where you're going, the kind of activities you're looking forward to attempting or doing over there, then yeah, you can message. I think that is something that is relative. It depends on the booking, why you're making the book in the first place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. What questions should guests ask before arrival?
What questions should they ask before arrival? I think what they expect to get is a question they can ask. The guests should also ask about what kind of activities they can do over there, what kind of clothes they should carry. So I'm assuming we have guests from different parts of the country, or guests who are traveling inside the country from outside the country. So clothing, even if it's summer or winter, they probably want to identify with what local people are doing at the moment.
Okay.
So we could also speak to the guests about cultures. A lot of guests have been normally asked these questions online. What is the culture there like? When I come there, how? That's why you find Jambo, people coming to USA Jambo and Asante and things like that. So they get to learn. And if they're local travelers, then they will need to know what is it there that they need to identify with. Is it a flat? Is it a home? Is it a shared space? Is it some place that they're coming to use shared utilities or share amenities like the swimming pool, the gym? Okay. I think it's an open conversation based on also where you're actually booking. But I would want to know about those things is from booking as a guest, especially if you're talking about recommendations. If I am going to be buying food from different places, then I will need to know what are the recommended areas. I can get nyama choma, or Chinese food, Ethiopian food, whatever cuisine that someone is interested in.
Okay.
So recommendations for night outs, they really ask about that.
Okay.
They will also ask for how do they get to move around. Do you have like Uber? Do you recommend anything that is a driver that is you'd want for them to use? You do airport transfers, airport pickups, so such things.
Okay.
Yeah.
How quickly should host respond?
Immediately. Okay. And if you can't respond immediately, you set up automated messages that can respond. And if you're not in a position to do that, you get a manager.
Okay.
Yes.
What does slow communication say about a property?
Low communication.
Yes. Slow
communication. I think slow communication is, it says, it might not say 100% about what the property is about, but it really says a lot about the host. Okay?
Okay.
So if you don't have time to respond to your guests, then they start questioning a lot of things. Once they get to the ground, and we've spoken about this even in episode 4, once they get to the ground, how do they know, how sure are they that they're going to find someone that is communicating to them? How sure are they that they will find the response that they want on the ground? Yeah, the kind of reception that they want. Okay. So it translates from online communication all the way to on-ground communication. Because if you're looking at someone, a guest who's coming from, again, diaspora or different parts of the country, they are new, they've never been to your city, to your town. They want to be assured that once they get to the ground, they are in good hands.
Okay.
Someone is there to take care of them. Whether it's just a guide, whether it's just get an Uber, whether it is just a pin location exactly directing them to where the house is. So whether it's security being informed earlier, because again, that is a gap that a lot of hosts are missing. Security being informed earlier that there are people checking in, and so they should be allowed to check in.
Okay. And how important is checking miscellaneous information?
Checking details.
Yeah.
Oh, very important. You see, a good check-in message or a checking details information contains, one, of course, a welcome message that says you're grateful for the booking, you're looking forward to having them. It should also contain the PIN, which is a direct location map that directs the guests from where they are to the house, the property. Yeah. It should also contain how do they access the house. Okay, let's start with security. It should contain security. Yeah. How do they clear with the security?
Okay.
Okay, do they need to show their ID, their passport? That information is important.
Yeah.
Then it should contain how do they access the actual house? Is there a self-check-in process? Do you have a smart lock? Or do you have a lockbox? Do they have the password? You put it in there. All right?
Okay.
It should also contain your rules. When is your check-in time? When is your check-out time? How do you use the boiler? How do you use the blender? How do you use your coffee machine? A lot of these things are just, they look very shallow, but even you don't want someone to come to your house and start using your washing machine and they don't even know how that washing machine works.
Oh, exactly.
So it works both ways.
Yeah.
The host would want to know would want to take keen in explaining that, but the guest also wants to know so that they don't spoil your things.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that is very important. So it's the whole message is important.
Okay. Should guests always read the house rules?
Yes. Guests should always read the house rules. And if they're on the listing, and they've not read, they're at a risk of failing or not getting the rules clearly. And then now, because you see, these are we platforms, you're binded by platforms.
Okay.
As a host, I'm binded by the things I have put on my listing. You go with that or you don't go with that. As a guest, you are also binded by the same things I've put on my listings. So if you did mention that parties are not allowed, for example, and I come and have a party, you can't come and blame me for that.
Sure.
The rules were not clear.
Yeah.
So hosts, a guest should always read the rules of a particular house. Yeah, so it saves both of us a headache.
Okay.
Yeah.
How can guests avoid last-minute surprises?
Okay, guests. How can guests avoid last-minute surprises?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm looking at it from an angle of booking. From the point of booking, you want to avoid last-minute surprises if you're going to chat your host. Remember, we said we chat your host,
Yeah.
but it's not a must.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So for anyone who does not want to get into last-minute surprises, it's important to just chat your hosts. Ask the questions that you want to ask. Yeah?
Yeah.
Can I get some water? Yeah, so I think those would be things I would ask. Another thing you can do to avoid last-minute surprises would be asking how things are being operated in the house.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So for example, if the host has to bring guests, if the host has to bring a cleaner every single day, then that could surprise you, because maybe as part of the details that you missed out on, you did not mention how often the cleaning is done.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And vice versa. If they do not expect any cleaning, and now you're sending a cleaner after 2 to 3 days, or if they expect cleaning daily and your cleaner is only coming after 2 to 3 days, so expectation. Basically, just work with the expectations. When you give details in full, you reduce the expectations, or you work with facts as opposed to having any form of expectations.
Okay.
So for me, I think I would look at details like that.
Should guests double check all reservation details?
Yeah. Yes, but I think there's room for change, or room for adjustment. If, for example, a guest is looking at booking with us from 6th to 10th, so if they've checked, they have actually booked. So if in between they actually realize that they were to do 6 to 15, they can always adjust and speak to you if you have room to accommodate them. Or if it is a shorter period of time, they can always talk to the host. It was not 6 to 10, it was actually meant to be 6 to 9. So that way now your cancellation policies apply. Whether it's something that needs cancellation or it's something that you can simply just accommodate and work with it.
Okay.
So I think it's important to check your reservation details. Also, look, it's not just about dates. It could be about location. It could be about proximity to where you're going.
Okay.
Yeah, so you wouldn't want to mess with that. Double checking 100%.
Okay. Should guests always call host before arrival?
No. I think you knew my answer on that one.
Yeah, I did.
I'm the type of host that will probably want to work with the minimal interaction for privacy purposes.
Okay.
To the guests and to myself. So if we have zero communication, for me it means I am 100% automated and I'm happy.
Okay.
Because you have your house, I get to keep my privacy, you get to keep your privacy. However, on all our listings, we have noted that we follow the guest's lead. Because if the guest wants to communicate, then we are responsive enough. We can respond. We talk immediately. Because also you see, sometimes also maybe I'm speaking from a point of having multiple listings.
Yeah.
So if you have multiple listings, can you imagine 20 people calling in a day?
Yeah. Yeah, I get the pressure.
It is a lot, yeah?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to check in. I'm checking in, I'm checking out, I'm checking in. It is a lot. But if you work with a system that is automated and people can self-check in or self-check out, then it makes the work seamless.
Okay.
So balance. But if the guest wants to even see me, or the guest is even asking for things like some of our guests are very personal, and they want to, you come, like we're having dinner, we would want to know the hosts, you can always arrange, find some time.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So when should they call?
When it's an emergency.
Okay.
Only call when it's an emergency and things are not okay. Then you can call.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it makes sense. They should call or text or call text or chat, depending. When it's an emergency, or when the clarification is not clear. The details are not clear.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. If something isn't right, what is the best way to handle it? From a guest perspective? Both. Just give me from guest and the host perspective.
If I'm a guest and something isn't right, I think communication, like we said. Okay. So first thing is to say that this iron box is not working. Okay. And I'm just giving an example. And then now, how do we go about it? We replace the iron box, or we get you another, or we come fix it, depending on what we are talking about.
Yeah.
If we are addressing the listing, the house and everything, then same channel, communication, and seeing how we can mitigate it. So a lot of times we have repair guys on standby. We also have cleaning lady on standby if you need any kind of help, cooking. I don't think there's anything that cannot be sorted.
Okay.
Yeah. As a host, the same, I think.
Yeah.
As a host, the same. If there's anything that needs to be addressed by the host, then that needs to be done.
Okay. So can we go to quick fire questions?
Let's go.
Okay, let's start with window seat or balcony views.
Window seat or balcony. I know I've not even completed the thought process.
But balcony
wins, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Solo travel or with friends? Solo travel or
with friends. For me, with friends. I know you're an introvert.
Like, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? A lot of people will not relate. I'm the friend person. I'm the one that has to get the girls the trip out of WhatsApp group. Yes.
So you're one of them.
Let's go. Yeah.
Beach destination or city destination?
No. Beach anytime, but it depends on where you're going.
Okay.
Which it could be a city in a country I've never been to.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
It could be beach in Nyali, been there, done that. No. So again, but beach always wins.
Beach. Okay.
Yeah, you're always finding yourself wanting that kind of aura environment.
Oh God, I'm missing out something. Coffee first or unpack first? When you enter the premise and then you're like,
Me, I would do coffee first. I know a lot of people will do like, I cannot touch anything without unpacking, putting things in the wardrobe. Me,
Coffee.
and Mwema will probably just get coffee or leave everything in the house and step out fast. Then I come back, because why am I wasting time? I'm assuming if I had gone there for a staycation or a vacation.
Okay.
So you check in and check out. Check in and check out to go wherever place you want to go to. Yeah.
Okay. Road trip or flight?
Flight. Both. Both.
Depending
on
what?
Yeah, depending on where we are going.
Okay.
Flight, of course,
For
saves
quick
on
and
time.
convenient.
Yeah, convenience. But there's always
Sightseeing.
sightseeing.
Yeah.
There's always you see that other question of
The
who are you
vibe.
traveling with? I'm traveling with my friends.
Yeah.
So the vibes, the catch up, the talks,
Okay.
the photos along the way. You don't do that on a flight.
Okay. All right. What are we having? Would you sacrifice comfort to save money?
No.
No.
No, I'm not sacrificing comfort to save money. But because I would have saved money for that comfort.
Okay.
Yes.
So you are prepared.
I had prepared. So why am I saving a shilling? I'm not even saving myself from anything. So you save the money you want to use on your vacation, staycation. So yeah.
Okay. Would you pay more for free cancellation? Will you pay more for free cancellation?
Hey, maybe I would, but if as a host, okay, let me respond to this because today's session is about the guests.
Yeah.
Yes, as a guest, I would want to pay more for free cancellation because it gives me flexibility to choose once I'm on the ground. Once I have seen the unit and identified whether it meets my standard, whether it meets my reason why I'm there, then I can choose to continue with it or cancel it.
Okay.
So today's session is about, if you want me to start thinking as a host, of course it's inconveniencing the host.
Yeah.
But today's benefit is about the guest, and the guest should actually pay more for a flexible cancellation.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Where are we?
Your quick fire questions are right.
Cook your own meal or eat out?
Eat out. Oh my God.
Eat out.
Eat
Options
out.
are not hearing this.
I know. John. John is wondering what's happening.
What are you saying?
What are you saying? But eat out, for me it's eat out because maybe, like I always said, all these things are always relative. Depends on your way of life. It depends on what you actually trying to escape from to come into a staycation.
Okay.
Because what you're relaxing from is what someone else is probably not something that they're used to doing. Yeah, but you are relaxing from it because you do it every single day.
Okay.
Yeah. So I cook in the house. Occasionally, of course, but I still cook. I can make myself a good meal. But why would I make a good meal if I can go explore?
I know.
Yeah. And I'm a foodie. Consider myself a foodie. So I would want to sample what other people are making.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take photos immediately or relax first? Take photos immediately? Like, hey guys, I have arrived.
Immediately.
Yo.
Yeah. Otherwise, you'll miss out on the vlog experience if you want to vlog.
Okay.
Or but also depends, yeah. What if the journey was very long and you guys need to probably sleep, take a rest? Yeah. So you probably need to rest.
So again, it depends.
Again, it depends.
Okay.
But for me, I would probably start with photos, then the rest later.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Stay indoors or explore outside?
I explore. Why even discussing it? Explore.
All right.
Yeah.
It looks like. Do you
You're
really trust
done.
me?
No. Yes. As a guest,
Okay.
what do you think are some of the things for you would be a wow experience?
A wow experience.
Yes.
I would say the interior, the decor, maybe a fast Wi-Fi, of course, and a cozy staying place, like comfortable seat, good bed, and what else? Maybe balcony views, sunset views.
Sunset views.
Sunset,
That's a plus. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say actually that one will do good to me. Yeah.
Okay. If you could remove one frustration from booking accommodation,
Okay.
what would that be? The whole process of booking. If you could remove one frustration, what would that be?
Maybe destination. Let's say you are booking, you have all that you have on the phone. Maybe you are seeing the photos, the location, the property, but now on the site is something completely different. Yes.
For me, if I look at that question, if I could remove one frustration from the booking platform, one, it would be the time it takes to actually make a booking.
Okay.
Two, some platforms have a problem with payment details.
Okay.
So you find it frustrates the guests because they're not able to make payments. So they tell you wamelipa na kwako ijaingia, M-Pesa details, I don't know, bank details have not been captured. Yeah. So for me it would be streamlining the booking process so that I can book faster as a guest.
Okay.
And that is why you have advanced platforms that have instant booking, where you don't need to, because there are people who've made their mind already, it's a decision. Think about repeat customers, repeat clients. They know exactly where they're going. They know what they're going to do. So they just need to click, book, pay.
Yeah.
Click, book, pay. They don't want to ask details of CG. Who are you coming with? How many relatives? What are you coming to do? Those frustrations when it comes to booking, that needs to be streamlined. If you look at that, I think it needs to be streamlined. What is the one thing you'll never compromise on when it comes to booking?
Experience. Yeah.
For me, it would be where I'm sleeping.
Yeah,
I know
it's inclusive.
Exactly. The bed where you're sleeping is not something you want to compromise on.
Okay.
Anyway, and I think all guests should probably pick a lesson from that. Because again, you, depending on what you've gone to do, you probably have very limited time to sleep. If you're traveling for leisure, traveling, a luxury, you want to sleep for 2-3 hours. You don't want to start compromising on quality of your bed or whatever. Yeah, mosquitoes.
Yeah,
things like that. So I think that would be it. Now, if a property looks beautiful, ladies and gentlemen, in the photos, it will automatically provide a great experience. Is this a myth or a reality?
It is.
Tell us in the comment section, guys. As Eve is internalizing that, tell us in the comment section. If a property looks beautiful in the photos, it will automatically provide a great experience.
That's a myth.
A myth, yeah?
Yeah.
Wacha tusikie, guys. Tell us in the comment section what you think. And give us the kind of things that you have gone through as a guest to try and book an apartment, and what are some of the challenges you have faced when booking this apartment. All right. In conclusion, guys, I think subscribe, hit the notification button if you have not done that. Like and share if you're already on this channel and if you've been here. Now, a successful stay starts long before checking. It begins with clear communication, honest listings, and setting the right expectations. At Homes by Mwema, we believe transparency builds trust, and trust creates memories, memorable experiences for guests. All right. So if you're here, again, hit the notification bell and see you on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.